The auto industry is in the middle of the biggest shakeout in decades. Electric vehicle startups that raised billions are filing for bankruptcy. Legacy brands that have been around for generations are being quietly shut down by their parent companies. And some manufacturers are so desperate to move inventory, they are offering discounts you would normally only see on a used car. If you are thinking about buying right now, you need to know which brands are circling the drain. What looks like a bargain today could turn into a $50,000 paperweight tomorrow. These are the 7 car brands about to disappear, and exactly how you should approach each one. Number 7. Canoo. Canoo was supposed to be the future of electric delivery vehicles. They had contracts with NASA, deals with Walmart, and a design that looked like nothing else on the road. The lifestyle vehicle they were building had a boxy aesthetic that generated a lot of buzz. But buzz does not pay the bills. Canoo ran out of cash before they could get mass production off the ground. By mid-2025, they filed for bankruptcy, and the company is effectively gone. If you somehow find a Canoo for sale, you are not buying a car, you are buying a prototype with no support infrastructure behind it. The verdict here is simple. Do not buy. This is not a real option for regular consumers anymore. These vehicles are essentially museum pieces at this point. Canoo is not the only electric vehicle startup that crashed and burned. The next one is still technically alive, which makes it even more dangerous. Faraday Future has been about to launch for nearly a decade now. They have been promising a luxury electric vehicle that would compete with the best in the world, and they have delivered almost nothing. They did manage to get a handful of cars into customer hands, but the company is perpetually cash-strapped, constantly restructuring, and recently pivoted to selling rebadged Chinese vans. That is not a joke. The company that was supposed to build a $300,000 luxury electric vehicle is now trying to survive by importing commercial vehicles. The verdict is avoid. Even if you have the money and you find one of their FF91 vehicles available, you are betting a significant amount of cash on a company that might not exist next month. The risk just is not worth it. Now, those first 2 were electric vehicle startups that never really got off the ground. But this next brand actually put thousands of cars on the road before everything fell apart. Number 5. Fisker. Fisker is the cautionary tale of this entire list. A year ago, you could buy a brand new Fisker Ocean for around $70,000. Today, liquidation sales have them going for under $14,000 in some cases. That is an 80% discount on a brand new electric vehicle. And you still should not buy one. Here is why. Fisker filed for bankruptcy and is now in liquidation mode. That means no software updates, no warranty support, and most critically, no cloud connectivity. The Fisker Ocean relies on cloud servers for basic functions. With those servers going offline, the key fob stops working properly, and the navigation system is essentially bricked. If something breaks, you are on your own. There is no dealer network to service these vehicles. There is no parts supply chain. You cannot even get basic software fixes because there is no one left to write them. The verdict is avoid, even at 80% off. The only people who should consider these are mechanics who want to strip them for parts, or electric vehicle enthusiasts who are willing to treat the car as a project vehicle. For everyone else, this is a trap disguised as a bargain. But if Fisker is the poster child for electric vehicle startup failure, this next brand represents a different kind of problem entirely. VinFast came into the United States market with massive ambition. This Vietnamese manufacturer wanted to compete directly with established players, and they were willing to lose money to do it. The problem is they lost way too much money. Financial reports from late 2025 show accumulated losses exceeding $11 billion. To put that in perspective, that is more than many automakers make in profit over several years, and VinFast lost it. The reviews were not kind either. Critics panned the ride quality and raised serious questions about long-term reliability. The company has already paused or canceled their European expansion plans to focus resources on Asia. There are real concerns that North American operations could be next on the chopping block. The verdict is avoid. Resale value on VinFast vehicles is plummeting faster than almost any other brand on the market right now. And if they pull out of the United States, which is a real possibility, getting warranty work done becomes a nightmare. There is no enthusiast community keeping these cars alive the way there is for defunct brands like Saab or Suzuki. Now, those 4 brands were all in critical condition, or worse. But this next one is more complicated because the company behind it is not going anywhere. Number 3, Jaguar, internal combustion engine models. Jaguar is not disappearing entirely, but the Jaguar you know, the one with the growling engines and the sleek sedans, that version is already dead. The company has discontinued their entire internal combustion lineup. The F-Pace, the E-Pace, and the XF sedan are all gone. Jaguar is reinventing itself as an ultra-high-end boutique brand that sells only electric vehicles, with new models expected in late 2026 or 2027. This means the affordable luxury Jaguar is finished. If you wanted a gas-powered Jag, the window is closing fast. But here's where it gets interesting. The verdict on Jaguar is actually buy, but only for specific models. If you can find a V8 F-Type or a high-spec F-Pace SVR before the remaining inventory dries up, these could be worth grabbing. The F-Type in particular is likely to become a future classic. It is gorgeous, it sounds incredible, and they are not making any more of them. Maintenance will be expensive. That is just the reality of British luxury cars. But parts will remain available through Land Rover's network since Jaguar and Land Rover share a parent company. You are not buying an orphan brand here, you are buying the last of a dying breed. Number 2, Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo makes some genuinely special cars. The Giulia Quadrifoglio is one of the best driving sedans on the planet. Car enthusiasts love this brand for good reason, but love does not move units. Alfa Romeo has consistently struggled to sell cars in America. Stellantis, the parent company that also owns Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Chrysler, is under enormous pressure to cut costs. They are looking at every brand in their portfolio and asking hard questions about profitability. Here's the problem for Alfa Romeo. The Tonale crossover is their main volume play in the US right now. But Dodge sells a rebadged version called the Hornet for less money. So Alfa is essentially competing against itself within the same corporate family. The business case for keeping Alfa Romeo in North America gets weaker every quarter. Industry watchers have this brand on the bubble. The verdict is buy, but only for enthusiasts who understand what they are getting into. If Alfa leaves the US market, which is a real possibility in the next few years, the Giulia Quadrifoglio will instantly become a cult classic. It will be like owning an E39 BMW M5 or a manual transmission Porsche. The car guys will know what you have. The catch is that you need to be prepared for long waits on parts and mechanics who actually know how to work on these vehicles. Alfa ownership has always been a commitment. That is not changing. Alright, that brings us to our final brand. And this one is on life support. Number 1, Infiniti. Infiniti has been slowly dying for a decade now, and nobody seems to have noticed. While Toyota's Lexus brand continues to thrive and Hyundai's Genesis division has become a legitimate luxury player, Infiniti has just stagnated. The lineup is aging, innovation has been minimal, and sales have dropped more than 10% year over year with no sign of a turnaround. This is Nissan's luxury arm, and Nissan has its own problems right now. The resources that might save Infiniti are being directed elsewhere. Industry rumors suggest the brand could eventually be discontinued, so Nissan can consolidate and focus on survival. The verdict here is a cautious buy, but only as a lease. Here's the thing about Infiniti. The cars themselves are actually decent. The QX60, for example, shares a platform and many parts with the Nissan vehicles. Mechanically, these are reliable machines. If something breaks, you can usually find parts because they are shared across the Nissan family. But the resale value is terrible and getting worse. If you buy an Infiniti today, you are going to take a huge hit when you try to sell it. The brand prestige is evaporating, and that directly impacts what your car is worth. So if you want a luxury vehicle at a discount, leasing an Infiniti makes sense. You get the features, the comfort, and the badge for less money than competitors. Just do not buy one expecting it to hold value, because it will not.